Mitch Watch, day 60 something. Hell, I lost count, 65 plus days. That is how long it has been since anyone outside of a small circle of staffers and allegedly Scott Jennings has seen or heard Mitch McConnell, the alleged living United States Senator from Kentucky. No video, no audio, no waving in the hallway, no Rocky IV-esque montage of him regaining his strength in a snowy cabin. Just those two photographs and a bunch of public relations speak. That's all we've gotten in 9 weeks. And like all of us, Kentucky's governor has grown impatient. Andy Beshear went on Face the Nation and said this.
I got to ask you in our remaining moments here, you have been writing letters and trying to get updates on the status of Senator Mitch McConnell. Have you heard anything back from his office on how he's doing?
I've heard absolutely nothing back from Mitch McConnell. And while I do hope that he is getting better, I've known him my entire life. I wish him no harm. I actually wish him good health. His boss are the people of Kentucky. And this is why the Senate, the Republican-controlled Senate, feels so broken. They feel like they're not accountable to anyone. All he needs to do is call into this show for 2 minutes, or Fox News for 2 minutes, or do a video for 2 minutes to the people he's supposed to serve. But you know what? He absolutely refuses to do it. And then John Thune, as the leader of the Senate, you've got a duty to make sure all of your senators have the capacity to serve. And what is he saying? Not my job. That's not surprising. None of them will do their job right now and stand up to a president that is running over the Constitution at every turn.
So yeah, Andy Beshear sends this formal letter back in July asking just for an update on whether Kentucky's senior senator can still do his job. He got nothing. And his ask really is insultingly small. Just appear on a video. And I'm going to credit Andy Beshear here for how he framed this, because he said he had known Mitch his entire life. I wish him no harm. I actually wish him good health. And I agree, for the record. This isn't about wishing anything ill on an 84-year-old man. This is about the office and why this is such a scandal right now. Kentucky is supposed to have 2 votes in the United States Senate, and one of them has been nothing more than a whisper of a rumor since June. And if you've been hiding under a rock, June 14th, Mitch was found unconscious at his home, and his office later characterized it as a fall, and he went to the hospital. That followed with weeks of silence. Finally getting a proof of life photo in July where it has McConnell and Elaine Chao holding that day's Washington Post sports section, looking like a hostage video. And with that came a statement listing all of the ailments that Mitch McConnell didn't have. I didn't break any bones or suffer a concussion. I didn't have a heart attack or a stroke. I don't have any tumors or hemorrhages. Fantastic. A full menu of things that it's not. And yet, 0 sentences about what it actually is. Then earlier this month, out of rehab, recovering at home, still with no return date. And when reporters have asked his office for anything new, especially after that Andy Beshear interview, the response was, nothing to add. Weeks have gone by and they have nothing to add. And look, Beshear here, he is doing the thing that Democrats keep being told to do. Pick a fight and refuse to let it go. Andy Beshear's doing that. And he even has the presidential point without pointing thing down, that fist point. Plus, this man, he's on every 2028 shortlist. So I gotta ask you, is Beshear the type of energy you want heading into the midterms and frankly beyond? In this way too early analysis for 2028, is Andy Beshear your pick? Tell me. Put it in the comments. And look, Beshear goes on to go after the Senate itself. John Thune, as the leader of the Senate, you've got a duty to make sure all of your senators have the capacity to serve. And what is he saying? Not my job, end quote. Not my job. I mean, you have to think about that. The majority leader of the United States Senate asked whether a single % of his own chamber is currently functional, and he gave the equivalent of a shrug. And Beshear gave all of this the proper context, by the way. None of them will do their job right now and stand up to a president that is running over the Constitution at every turn. Bingo. That's why this is happening. A senator can vanish for 9 or 10 weeks, and the machine doesn't even stop. Because the votes were never expected to think. They're supposed to be loyal. That seat not going to a Democrat is the most important thing to Trump and his minions. The man, Mitch McConnell, he's optional because even the empty seat is loyal. And we shouldn't forget about the good people of Kentucky in all of this. God forbid that something hits that state between now and January, a flood, a farm crisis, a Medicaid fight. Their senior senator's vote and voice on the floor is supposed to be part of the answer. He's supposed to be the one calling his connections and getting his state what it needs. And instead, Kentucky gets an empty chair. An independent media like us, we live on your interactions. Drop a like, give us a comment, share this story, because that's what keeps the algorithm pushing this story in front of more people. And frankly, if you have the opportunity, we would love if you became a member. That way you can support our mission the entire year.